Over the past couple days, I've been playing this build over here on the right, and a couple observations I had about the deck were that it was difficult to live until turn 9, and that the Grave Horrors were surprisingly clunky, because you typically don't play that many spells before your combo turn, and after then you don't really need the Grave Horrors anyway. So to address both of those issues, I wanted to try cutting the Grave Horrors for Northshire Clerics. Northshire Cleric is just a broken card, probably should have been in my deck from the beginning. And the only reason I wasn't already playing it is because my very first version of this deck played Mass Resurrection. But I scrapped that pretty early on, so the Cleric makes sense, I think. And then from there, I wanted to try out Sand Drudge, because again, one of the problems is dying, and we play a bunch of cheap spells, which means we can make a bunch of cheap taunts whenever we want. So it seemed like a natural fit. And then with a more solid early game, I wanted to try out Extra Arms, which on its own is a great card, especially good if you play it on a turn 1 Northshire Cleric. And it's 2 spells in 1, which is good for Questing Adventurer, Sand Drudge, Gadgetzan Auctioneer, maybe even the Devourer.
Tyrande versus Thrall. For Doomhammer.
No one give me strength.
What is Shaman? Murlocs, probably. It's gotta be a bad matchup for me.
Is someone injured?
But I did draw Northshire Cleric. Play your Sludge Slurper, I dare ya. Wait, don't do this though. God, do I have to topsy-turvy my Cleric here? Ooh, I can silence it. That looks better. So I can Circle of Healing to draw 2 here. Maybe it's better to just Hero Power and draw 1 though.
Right away.
I do think this is a fine use of the silence. That's a good card, but I'm not sure I can live long enough to use
Right
it.
away.
Do I want my 2 cards here? This turn I could play a Banana Buffoon if I draw it. Questing Adventure would be playable, Sand Drudge, SNIP-SNAP.
I wonder.
Okay, I like the circle. Okay, there's a Questing Adventurer. So I can go like Questing, Topsy his Totem. I have a 3/3. I think he would have played a Toxfin if he had it, but that might get a War Leader out of him.
Give me a quest.
I like this. If he does War Leader, I can Topsy my Cleric and trade with it. Okay. I'm not thrilled with this pan out, but it's alright. That's a good draw.
Right away.
Played a lot of my cheap spells, but still plenty of time for this Cloning Gallery to be good later on. Healing Totem is so good against Northshire Cleric. Forces the priest to draw cards.
Right away.
My hand is pretty yikes here.
Shadows rise.
Do I ever Lazul's scheme to keep 1 health on my Sand Drudge? And make a 1/1? Yeah, maybe I do actually. Damage this totem so I get a free card draw if he doesn't kill it. Banana Buffoon, so I can draw a card and play a spell this turn? Seems nice. I guess I make my cleric a 2/4 so I can kill the Bloodfin Raptor.
Right away.
Heal her up. Extra arms.
Shadows rise.
Kill that thing to protect my 1/1s, damage those so I get 2 free cards. I guess I'm fine just trading these off here, because I'm probably playing a bunch of spells. Let's buff this thing, I guess. And this thing. Spread out the buffs for Earth Shock if he wants to play that or something. Draw last, of course, because we're good Hearthstone players. 8 cards in hand, so I can draw here, that's fine. Draw last again, because we're good Hearthstone players.
Right away.
Put 1 damage on my cleric after wasting a healing on it. I think this was pretty much the optimal turn of Hearthstone. So I believe I have 16 damage here. This is 6, 9, 10, 15, 16 with the banana. I've played both of my topsy-turvies. I could draw on 2 extra arms for lethal. I have 9 cards in deck. I have Power Word Shield, Hero Power, and Regenerate, so I can draw 3 here. So 1 and 3 lethal. I actually have another Regenerate. No, I can't actually use the Regenerate. I don't think I need to go for it though.
Right away.
I don't know. I played some cards, made a big thing, killed all his Murlocs. Seems fine. If he randomly has a Hagatha's scheme in his deck or something, good for him, I guess. Should have forbidden words to his spell damage totem. But for the most part, I think this Hagatha is the best he can do. And I can kill him with Arcane Devourer. I'm showing 16, so I just need to play 3 spells. Banana plus Power Word Shield's good enough. Do I want to keep Sand Drudge against a Rogue? The 1/1s are pretty bad against Evil Miscreant. They're bad against Dagger. I think that's enough reason to toss it. Banana Buffoon's an okay draw.
Blessings to you.
Ooh, Cloning Gallery. Save the coin. This reduces by 2. Let's go Banana Buffoon here. And then maybe next turn is like Sand Drudge, Scheme, Topsy, Power Word Shield or something.
Team spirit be the best.
What are the odds? Extra arms. I could coin that out on my sand dredge, but I don't see much of a reason to do that.
Team spirit be the best. Spirit.
So obviously we're killing this one instead of the Blink Fox. So I can coin something out here if I feel like I'm all in on this sand dredge. Or if I just don't mind delaying Zerek's cloning gallery for a turn. Could coin out the cleric, which is a really good extra arms target. I think I do want to coin something here.
I wonder. Is someone injured?
You can actually kill my sand dredge with just a backstab here. Maybe I should have played Silence to make another taunt to block his Blink Fox. If this is another Kobold Lackey, it kills my sand dredge. Goblin Lackey also does it.
Double time and double pay.
Was it actually good to play Silence last turn? It's hard to say. He does still lose most of his board here. Wow, he doesn't kill my sand dredge? I'm gonna go ahead and consider that questionable.
Give me a quest.
Make a 1/1 and give my guy +1/+1. Banana this thing, I guess. I'm low on cards, but one of my cards is extra arms, so I feel pretty okay right now. Sap, that's fine. Vendetta's a little bit more annoying. But I just throw down questing, buff my token.
Give me a quest.
Four mana Vendetta? Oh wait, his last one is also 4 mana Vendetta. Poor guy. Looks like I might get to my cloning gallery turn. So I delayed my cloning gallery by a turn by playing the coin. But it might also be true that I would have died before turn 8 if I hadn't played that coin. I got 2 1/1, or no, I got a 1/1 and a Northshire Cleric out of it. Arcane Devourer. So left in deck I have Devourer, 2 Auctioneers, Ziliax, SNIP-SNAP, Sand Dredge, Questing Adventurer, and Cleric.
What is illusion?
So 8 minions, that means I'm going to miss one of them with my cloning gallery. Which means I have a pretty consistent cloning gallery. So I probably do want to keep these 0 mana spells to fuel it. Which I guess means I probably don't want to put 0 mana spells into this Arcane Devourer. But maybe I just play an 8 mana 5/5 and force him to answer it. I have seen 2 Vendettas and 2 Saps, and a Backstab. So really just a 5/5 might not be that easy for him to deal with.
Power overwhelming.
I think if I had 3 0 mana spells here, maybe I would consider playing one. But even assuming I hit both Auctioneers, it's very possible that if I only draw 2, I don't really get to chain this guy. Or chain these things. Looks like he might have to sink 7 damage into it anyway.
Double time and double pay.
Sort of interesting he wouldn't use his weapon there. I don't feel like taking 5 was really that big of a deal. Okay, I did only hit 1 Auctioneer. This thing's not doing anything, so we'll make it a 3-3. Alright. Mass Hysteria. As long as Questing and Arcane Devourer don't hit each other, it's fine. Okay. They didn't hit each other. Nice. Almost strength 3. Floating Gallery. We keep that one, right? Toss Regenerate. I can go turn 4 Questing Power Word Shield. What am I hoping to do against Mage? I guess maybe this Questing Adventurer is my win condition. Didn't I mulligan or regenerate? So if he plays a giant next turn, I can't kill it with this combo. No, he can't play it next turn. But if he plays it 2 turns from now, I can kill it. I don't want to burn my coin, because I want to coin out Floating Gallery. So he does nothing here. I go Questing Power Word Shield, he plays Giant. I go Scheme Forbidden Words, hit him with the Questing. Okay, I like where this is going. Is there any reason to regenerate here? There's no way he deals 5 to this, right? I picked up a Sand Drudge, but I think Sand Drudge is kind of bad in this matchup. Okay, well this is dying. I guess Forbidden Words is the play. But Sand Drudge is kind of bad because I flood my board and then he plays Sea Giant. Although I'm not sure if this is a Sea Giant deck. But I think the play here is pretty clear.
Give me a quest.
Second Questing, I guess we spread out the buffs. And then kill his Doomsayer. So I don't have a direct answer to a Mountain Giant now, but I can just kill it with Questing Adventurers. Auctioneer. I have 12 in play. So I would need to play 9 cards this turn to kill him. I might actually be able to do that.
I got the best deals anywhere.
I'm unlikely to have lethal here, but the silence is awkward. There's not really a clean time to cast the silence. I had... With these 3 spells, I needed to draw one more playable card, and he was dead there. In today's video, I tried out some more early game additions to this deck. Northshire Cleric, Extra Arms, Sand Drudge, and they did not disappoint. I only played 4 games with this particular build, but I won all 4 of them, bringing my overall Arcane Devourer Gallery Priest win rate up to 50%. So maybe this is actually a pretty reasonable deck. One thing I can say for certain is your cloning gallery turns are insane. So it's really just a matter of structuring the rest of the deck around that so you can actually survive until then without dying. Now, even though I had a 50% win rate with this deck, I think it's actually pretty poorly positioned in the current meta. I never did find a solution to warriors playing double brawl. I considered playing Chef Nomi and a couple seances, but at that point you may as well just play a dedicated Chef Nomi deck. I guess you could play like Mechanical Whelps for your cloning gallery turn or something. But everything you can do to help the warrior matchup just seems completely awful in every other matchup. Beyond warrior, I have to imagine this deck is probably pretty bad against mage, because you just don't have an answer to Conjurer's Calling. Like, yeah, you can mass Hysteria, but that doesn't even always clear their board. They still have a second Conjurer's Calling. It just doesn't seem good. I only played against like 1 mage and I happened to win, but I have to imagine it's probably a pretty bad matchup. And if your deck is bad against both warrior and mage, it's probably not a good meta deck. But even if it doesn't do that well against warrior and mage, I feel like it does okay in other matchups. And there are certainly some insane draws that are going to be really hard for any opponent to deal with.